You have Actavis acquiring drug rival maker Forest Labs in a deal valued at about $25 billion at just under $90 a share. Actavis says Forest holders will own about 35% of the combined firm. Cristina, you've been poring over the numbers here. What's your takeaway?
Well, for this particular deal, Actavis really needed to get into they felt like they needed to get into the branded space. This company is known for its generic products. For growth potential reasons, they felt like they needed to be in the branded space. Again, Forest Labs has two medications that are branded and doing quite well. One is an Alzheimer's drug and the other one is a blood pressure drug. But this actually speaks to a much broader theme in deal making, which is companies are done with, returning capital to shareholders, increasing dividends. Now they want to see growth. So we could see more deal activity, especially when it comes to the pharmaceutical space, because remember, pharmaceutical companies are no longer pouring money into R&D, developing products organically. They're going out, needing the growth right away and trying to buy growth in the market.
And, Tom was bringing this up earlier in the transnational aspect of the deal. What are sort of the regulatory hurdles that might come up through that we might not get if there were two U.S. companies here? Anything on that?
Well, in this particular deal, we're not going to see too many regulatory hurdles. Again, the thing is that the government kind of wants to see foreign investment in the U.S. So
that's what Robert Wolf was saying.
Right. They're not going to trample on it too much here. And again, Actavis has a history of going out and doing cross-border deals. So they are very well versed in how to get these things done.
Hey, Robert Wolf, repeat why it's so important to have foreign direct investment, money coming into the U.S. Explain again why that's...
so we were talking earlier. One, it's a job creator. So I was saying to Tom that of the foreign companies that have U.S. subsidiaries here, they spend $40+ billion in R&D. They've created over 5 million jobs, and they're 20% of our exports. So building, buying, or investing in America is a good thing because it helps us grow. It's more capital coming in.
That's the single best argument I think I've ever heard for immigration reform and making it easier for smart people to come here to America.
No question about it.
The interesting thing on Actavis is actually, historically, it's an American company. It was called Watson Pharmaceuticals, and they ended up buying a Dublin-based company to get around U.S. taxes.
Right. No territorial tax there.
So that actually isn't great for us. There's been a lot of discussion about fixing the corporate tax rate here in America, but that has to get through Congress.
Right. Well, who's also smiling this morning on this deal? Carl Icahn. He was tweeting about it. He's the second largest shareholder of Forest Labs. He tweeted, "Great result for all Forest Labs shareholders. Proves again that activism works." Of course, talking in his own book, of course, he's going to say that. But however, he has been on the right side of a lot of deals recently.
I would suggest, as Cristina mentions here, going back to Milex, this industry has been a train wreck for 20 years.
The pharma industry?
Yeah,
yes.
Next to no margin at all. Full disclosure, Cristina knows this cold. She used to be in the industry. This is the detritus of 30 years of over-government regulation that allowed no real margins. You got Mylan, Watson, Pharmaceutical, Forest.
Not entirely. The industry has been challenged on the innovation front. And what happened was they developed all of these pretty easy to produce drugs that basically cured a lot of, cholesterol problems, Viagra, all these blockbuster products that really generated revenue for a very long time. But now they have to go out and solve bigger problems like cancer. And that takes a lot more time and money. So now that the industry has made bank on the solvable mass problems, they got to go out and solve the bigger, more difficult, trickier problems.